Good day, everyone. We are the group 7 and 8, and we are going to tackle about chapter 8, Dimension of Development Entrepreneurship. So the members of the group are Charmay Aquilino, Juliana Elambayo, Kay Kasim, Francesca Palmera, Sherry Ann Saligumba, and Jobel May Serentas. And our learning objectives are at the end of this chapter, the learners should be able to simplify the concept of entrepreneurship, compare and contrast different sustainable entrepreneurial activities, and evaluate what the social entrepreneur is. Concept of entrepreneurship. Fajardo 2009 defines that entrepreneurship as the new or different ways of doing things using technology, marketing, human relations, and management. So, the concept of entrepreneurship is the ability and the readiness to develop, organize, and run a business enterprise, along with any of its uncertainties, in order to make a profit. So, one of the example of entrepreneurship is running a small business, such as online selling or sari-sari store. Entrepreneurship. Fajardo 2009 stresses that entrepreneurship is the effective and efficient way of managing the business capacity and equality of an individual toward customer satisfaction. Entrepreneurship refers to the process of creating a new enterprise and bearing any of its risks with the view of making the profit.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jabal May Sarantas, and I am going to report the entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone who thinks creatively, plans strategically, and projects clear, realistic, and objective plans. So this means that entrepreneur are the ones who manage the business and also to have a creative plans about the business. And entrepreneurs are those people nga build or create business, like sila mo organize sa ilahang business. So sometimes they are called as a businessman and businesswoman. So as an entrepreneur, we have also a rules that we should pertain in order to build a better business. So according to Lee and Truly, in 2008, entrepreneurs should have the following roles, such as administrator, planner, leader, negotiator, communicator, decision maker, and good follower. And aside from that rules of entrepreneurs, we have also the abilities to develop as an entrepreneur, in which he or she should engage in the following. First is to get interested in creating something useful to a society or community. So, in order to be a realistic, we need to be practical in seeing something that is more useful or in demand in the society. So, for example, when we are going to create a business, we must get interested in the things that people used to demand. Because as a businessman or businesswoman, we can use that as a idea to create a business that will really successful in the future. Next is to use one's creative capacities to the fullest by being sensitive to what is beautiful and to the day-to-day needs of society or a community. So as we get interested in something that is useful in the society, we must also be creative in seeing what is the needs of society. In order to be creative, we must be sensitive in choosing what is the demand or the things that is very useful through our individual capacity. So the third is rely on oneself instead of being dependent on others. So aside from those two, we must also have a trust to ourselves, because in business, People who build a business must be confident to take risks and also to trust ourselves because they can't or to trust themselves because they can't build a business kung wala silang trust sa kanilang sarili. That is why we must rely on ourselves instead of being dependent to others. The last one is be conscious and aware of one society or a community's sources of income. So we must be also aware to the sources of income of people, in which building a business may be a source of others' income, but we must also see the different resources or the different resources of income of people. So that is the end of my report.
Good day everyone, I am Shirang Saligumba. Now let's talk about social entrepreneur. Social entrepreneurs are pioneers of innovations that benefit humanity. They are drivers of change, together with institutions, networks, and communities. Social entrepreneurs create solutions that are efficient, sustainable, transparent, and have measurable impact. When people start a business, they tend to see profitability as the ultimate goal. Eliotary in the year of 2000 finds these notions of business as myopic. He states that a social entrepreneur must be a visionary in that he or she should see opportunities around him or her. As a result-oriented individual, he or she must develop all avenues of potential business growth through education, health, security, housing, services, and a myriad of social or community needs. As Drucker in a year of 1985 explains that social entrepreneurs are hunter-gatherers of our culture. They look around, see where the food is, and go to get it. They will give up almost anything to have the right to make their own choices, decisions, and opportunities. They also learn how to deal with mistakes to achieve potential economic growth. They do not change themselves to fit in their environment. Instead, they use the environment to meet their needs. So next are the advantages of the managing one's own business. First is development of personal relationships with customers and employees. So having a business, the owner should have good interactions and communication with people to acquire customers. Also, it develops the owner's personality to have fair accommodations for both customers and employees. Second is flexibility in management. So the more flexible a business is, the faster it will grow because it will constantly seek ways to improve its current state. Also, flexibility in a business or workplace helps employers and employees to make arrangements about working conditions that suit them. This helps employees maintain a work or life balance and can help employers improve the productivity and efficiency of their business. Third is government incentives. Incentives follow economic impacts. By assisting with incentives, governments are choosing to invest public resources to make private investments feasible and therefore receive investment returns in the form of economic impacts. In addition, incentives increase net revenue for the businesses that receive them. So if those companies are owned by residents of their jurisdiction, offering this incentive, offering the incentive, the additional business profits are retained locally as a benefit of the program. Fourth is knowledge of record keeping techniques. Keeping accurate financial records can help you monitor the health of your business and spot any potential issues sooner. Most people associate record keeping with tax time, but having a good record keeping system in place can also help you monitor the health of your business.
Therefore, you need good records to monitor the progress of your business. Records can show whether your business is improving, which items are selling, or what changes you need to make. Good records can increase the likelihood of business success. And last is independence. Some entrepreneurs choose to set up their businesses because they want to do something that interests them. Other entrepreneurs may not want to work for someone else, and having the independence to make their own decisions and control their working hours can be a sufficient reward for some entrepreneurs. So, why independence is an advantage in managing a business? Because owners have the flexibility to decide where and what their business will be and how they want to run and grow the best their business. It means that the owner gets to make the decisions on his or her own. Then the following are the disadvantages of managing one's own business. First is difficulty in raising capital. Business owners find it challenging to raise capital because of several factors. Among them is their relative financial riskiness, which makes many financial institutions reluctant to offer them loans and credit. This also makes investors unlikely to invest in small businesses. Second is risk of failure. Several factors can make a business fail or a success. For instance, natural disaster is one of the factors that can down a business like earthquakes, typhoons, floods, and such. Also, the loss of customers can lead to business failure. So, business owners should maintain a good relationships with customers and employees. Third is limited management skills. Lacking management skills, most likely going to make poor hiring decisions. You won't have the ability to identify key skills or personality traits that an employee will need to thrive in working environment. Also, poor leadership results in a higher turnover of employees. The cost of recruitment and training becomes prohibitive, which can impact a business ability to continue operations. Last is lack of opportunities for employees. It means existing employees who are keep employed will have fewer opportunities to grow and rise to higher positions within the business. A downsizing business is not ideal for those who wish to advance within a single business. Also, it will affect the employees' performance in the workplace because of lack of opportunities to them.
Retailing is concerned with selling certain goods that usually satisfy potential and existing customers. It extends beyond mere selling and involves the following service. Number one, storekeeping. Storekeeping to guarantee the prompt and uninterrupted supply of materials and stores to the organization's various production and service departments. To keep materials from being over or understocked, to assess the quantity and quality of all materials to cut down on storage cost. Number two is pricing. Pricing is the producer uses a pricing strategy to adjust the price of its products in a way that works for both the manufacturer and the customer. Number three is advertising, the means by which a product or brand or service is promoted to a viewership in order to attract interest, engagement and sales is known as advertisement. Record keeping. Record keeping is a primary stage in accounting that entails keeping a record of monetary and like business transactions, knowing the correct picture of assets, liabilities, profits, loss, and etc. In addition, it assists in maintaining control of expenses to minimize the expand and have important information for legal and tax purposes. And also, number 5, maintaining inventory. Inventory management refers to the process of ordering, storing, using, and selling a company's inventory. This includes the management of raw materials, components, and finished products, as well as warehousing and processing of such items. Service types of entrepreneurial activities. Although potential businesses are plenty, the following are the common forms of profitable entrepreneurial ventures. Number 1, food service. This industry is fast growing. There are now plenty of restaurants, cafeterias, and drive-thrus. Number 2 is lodging service. They serve travelers for both businesses and pleasure by providing a place to stay. They also provide dining and recreational activities as well as sleeping rooms, like hotels and etc. Number 3, financial services. These are monetary support and benefits from banks, savings, and loan associations, insurance companies, loan agencies, and credit unions. Number 4, recreation and tourism services. They offer leisure and entertainment activities such as bowling, boating, golf course, country club, hobby parks, and travel agencies. Number 5 is transportation services. The convenience businesses are provided by airlines, rail- railroads, bus companies, and car rental firms to transport customers from one place to another. Personal service. It is concerned with individual personal care such as laundries, nursery schools, health spas, and gyms, photography studios, and etc. Personal service businesses combine retailing and production function. Next is repair and maintenance service. Gives repair service needed by customers. And the last, rental services. These are accommodation to use the following for a free fee like cars, trucks, heavy equipments, paintings, and etc. Are the social responsibility of entrepreneurs. Number 1, adopt a mission to create and sustain social, not just commercial, but in value. Number 2, recognize and relentlessly pursue new opportunities to serve that mission. Engage in a process of continuous innovation, adoption, and learning, and act boldly even with limited resources currently at hand. Number 3, exhibit a heightened sense of accountability to conscientiousness, serve, and for the outcomes created.
Philanthropists. A successful business person is one who also helps the less privileged in the society. He or she donates a considerable amount of money to a foundation that, for instance, support early childhood education or sets up hospitals in poverty-stricken areas. So, the philanthropist is a generosity in all its form and is defined as giving gifts of talent, time, and treasure to help make a life better for other people. So, philanthropist is a person who exhibits these behaviors regardless of how many resources or how few that person has. Halimbawa sa ka-philanthropist which is si Michael Jordan na nailhan nato na siya as a sikat na basketball player sa NBA. So, tungod sa pag-basketball niya, na kamit niya iyang goal na isa siya sa pinaka-impluwensya na celebrity philanthropist sa tibuok kalibutan. So, time na siya na ang tag-iya sa Charlotte Hornets, kitabangan ni Jordan ang iyahang team na para maghatag og $3 million sa lain-lain na causes like mga gamit sa military or sa education para sa mga estudyante, just like scholarship I think, o nagapakaon po sila sa mga poorest family or sa mga pulube. Tapos nag-donate po siya og $2 million sa Hurricane Florence relief efforts. Tapos another donation nagihatag niya is $10 million para abre og duha ka medical clinic dito sa iyahang lugar. Activists who put pressure on policymakers and the public to stop a specific practice are not social entrepreneurs. The activists, they are the one who against the plan of policymakers due to they focuses on social issues such as what they show the effect of our community, and they raises awareness and mobilize support on the antis. Companies with a foundation. The priority of a company is to make money for its shareholder. This is not an example of social entrepreneurship practice that subsumes value of operation at the service of transforming social and environmental conditions. So it means that a company that have a foundation or with a foundation is only a non-profit corporation. It means that they are just established the grants to support the purposes of a company or a foundation that to raise funds in each holders such as educational, charitable, or in their religious and etc. that can express their powers to show in the public.
Developing a business plan. Planning involves asking and answering the following: what to do, how to do it, when to do it, what to expect in the future. Developing a business plan. Decide what business are you going to put up. Plan everything about your decided business, location of the building, possible income and expenses, and other stuff related to your decided business. Planning should always be geared towards customer satisfaction. It should have the following characteristics. First, realistics. It must be based on available human, financial, and physical resources. Financial resources such as funding, human resources, you have employees, physical resources, premises, and equipment. Second, based on the felt needs. The objectives of an entrepreneur should be based on the needs of the community. For example, motivation, passion, vision, confidence, and decision making. Third, flexible. Planning should adjust to the trends and customers' tastes. Adapting can give you a competitive edge. Being flexible as entrepreneur can provide you with being as an entrepreneur can provide you with an important competitive edge. It helps you to exploit opportunities as and when they arise. Fourth, starting with a simple project. The simplicity of a project refers to the micro type of business, which requires simple management and technology. When we say microtype management, we are referring to the practice of keeping track of and analyzing the process of a single project. Next, criteria for business planning. The following are the criteria that must be considered in planning a business. First, clear objectives. Second, satisfactory accomplishment of objectives in terms of quantity, quality, time, and cost. Third, provision of guidelines to attain objectives. Fourth, identification of departments, units involved. Fifth, a set time frame or duration. Six, specified resources and corresponding costs. Lastly, designated and accountable officers and executives. A business plan is a very important strategic tool for entrepreneurs. A good business plan not only helps entrepreneurs to focus on specific steps necessary for them to make business ideas succeed, but it also helps them achieve both their short-term and long-term objectives.